That was such an accident. I don't even know how I did that. Oh, my bad. just over.
Oh, baby, I was blind.
All right.
Let you go. Let you go.
Sorry guys, my mic blasted. How's it going, everybody? This is Active Reload episode number 13. Tonight, as you see, once again, it is myself, Blaze, arCtyC, Dafacex. But tonight we got a special guest. We got Quinn Delhoyo from Epic Games.
What's up, guys?
Big name in the community. I'm hoping you guys all know him. Starting off tonight, we're going to talk about the Forces of Nature map pack that's coming out tonight, the DLC. Also comes with some characters and some weapon skins that I know you guys know. The Hype weapon skin and the Major League weapon skin. I thought was pretty sick. arCtyC, I think you got to play some of the maps, right?
Yes, I did. And I'm loving them right now. So, I mean, I just did walkthroughs. All of them look pretty good. I'm probably most interested in playing Raven Down. You know, this is how I think how I worded it in one of the comments on YouTube. I'm really interested to see how Jacinto plays, but I'm most excited to play Raven Down. Because Raven Down for me started Annex. It started King of the Hill. So that was like the best map you could play on Gears of War 1.
Didn't you play it 5 years ago, though, dude?
I mean, it still has that. I mean, to me, I like that frantic action. So I liked being, you know, all in people's faces with my shotgun, and that's what Raven Down does. But you know, there's going to be a few little extra things we got to deal with on this version, but should be fine. I'm excited.
I like
Man,
this.
I wish you wouldn't sound like a complete robot right now.
Oh, he's
Am
good
I
on my
auto-tuned?
end. No, you're good on my end. I don't hear.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, everybody's good.
It's me. My bad.
Might be you. I don't know.
Yeah.
You sound good too. Raven Down, I was most excited for. I know when it was announced, I said that was probably going to be a King of the Hill map. Execution, not so much. I don't really see that being execution. People could try it though if they want. I mean, we'll find out. But I liked it as King of the Hill just because of how close quarters it is. It's kind of like Checkout, but I think it would be a better Checkout, so it would be actually usable. And even though there's only 2 power weapons, which are just incendiaries, I don't even think it matters. Like, power weapons aren't even a big deal on that map. I actually have that layout for you guys right here if you want to look at it. That is the Raven Down overhead look. What it'll be like. As you can see, it's pretty much the same thing. Same layout, just different scenery, nice snow, blizzard coming through. It was pretty sick when I did a little walkthrough on it. It looked real good.
It looks nice. I haven't got a chance to play yet. It looks nice,
Yeah.
you know. But it's also, you know, I'm pretty sure that it had that rust lung feel to it, you know, where there's not that many power weapons on the map. Well, we got Silverback, but it's still action-packed throughout the whole time.
Yeah, my question is, KO, you said you've had the opportunity to actually play this map right now?
I walked through it. I haven't played it.
Right, in your, like I said, I spoiled myself with only one of your videos. Was it actually? I mean, obviously, with it being 5v5, is it a little bit bigger than the original Gal 1 Raven Down?
I mean, it didn't seem that much bigger because the speed is so much faster. You can get from one area to the other. It seemed like relatively quickly, but I don't know. I mean, all the maps when they're converted to Gears 3 seem a little bit bigger, but in terms of the distance that it took me to get from one end to the other, it didn't seem like it was a long time. So,
Got a question for you guys. Why do you? Because I was watching Fatal Strike stream earlier today, and him and a few guys. Sorry, I'm not going to name all you guys that were playing because I don't want to miss you guys. But they were playing 4v4 on Raven Down, basically all the new maps. And they did Koth and stuff like that. And Fatal Strike, he mentioned that, hey, why is everything bigger? You know, like the doorways and like that little room that's on Raven Down, right? Like the little, you know, the little room I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that little
shotgun clutch room
is, yeah, that one. It's a little bit bigger in space and the doorways and everything. And he was just complaining, and I told him that the main reason that a lot of these things are opened up, like I think a car was taken out as well. The main reason is because of Horde and Beast. And all these maps have to be playable on Horde and Beast. And so those big monsters need to be able to come through those big doorways and to fit in those rooms a little bit more. So that's kind of a bad side effect for the competitive guys, the guys that play multiplayer. But that's just kind of what we have to deal with right now.
Right. Well, I mean, the reason why I asked that question is because, I mean, going back in the day with the Gal 1 is that 4v4 execution couldn't work just because it was such a host dominant map, and you know, I mean, it really relied on one person to actually make a play, you know, before the whole team could crash down. That's why I said, you know, with Raven down being a slight bit bigger in that 4v4 area, you know, I just don't want to overlook that whole execution gameplay compared to everybody's excitement with King of the Hill.
Now, is execution on Raven Down, if I remember correctly, wasn't it split 2-2 when you spawned?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But, you know, I really don't mind the bigger maps.
Oh, that's right. Yep, sorry, go ahead, Guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really don't mind the bigger maps, so to say, because, you know, especially with the maps that's been remade since, you know, Gears of War 1, because we got, like, a lot of new features in the game when it comes down to, you know, the wall canceling, to and a lot of good different movement features where I feel like, you know, it's not that big of a difference because we have more freedom. And, you know, it's a little bit faster than back in the day.
Right, but don't forget about you also had the spawn seeding and whatnot as well. You know, I mean, you put your players in the desired seeds to know exactly where your spawn points were. So, I mean, maybe that could be a different element to this map as well.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to have that. I mean, you can't set your spawn positions if I'm not mistaken.
No, Gears 3. That was one thing. I wish that was in Gears 3. How you pretty much had. You know, you knew what spawn you were, so you knew when to come in the room and all that. I like that about Gears 1. That's one thing I miss.
That is one thing I miss as well because, you know, nowadays we got to, you know, every player kind of knows how to have to play every single position. You got to know every single spot. You know, instead of before, you knew what player was assigned to what position just based on, you know, when they joined the room. You know, and I miss that as well because we missed it in Gears 2 as well.
It was cool, but we deal with it.
Yep.
Next, I think, what are the next maps we had? Raven Down, Jacinto making a comeback. I really like the new Jacinto. I don't know if you guys see it. Here's the overhead of it. What they did to Jacinto, as if you guys know Jacinto, remember from Gears 2, you know those hopovers that went to Mortar and Boom. Those are gone. Those hopovers are no longer there, so once you're in that area, you can also go back that area right up the steps. But what they also did, they made an underground path leading from spawn that goes underneath nades and right to where Pistol was, towards Boom. So you can run straight to Boom from spawn, and you can also run straight to Mortar to the left. Or right, depending on which spawn you're in, obviously. So it made the map so much better, and when I was talking to Quinn, he's saying that this could be an actual viable TDM map. So I'm going to see. I'll give it a shot. I'm going to look at it, because, I mean, I know we all want TDM to work, but it's been hard trying to find the right maps for it.
Yep.
You know, did they add any hazard or in-game hazards to Jacinto?
Nope.
Okay.
That was what I was worried about when I read about the emulsion. I was like, hope not. Like, that would have made it.
Yeah, when you walk over
kinda
anything
bad.
that's emulsion, it instantly kills you.
He's not serious. It's not. That does not happen. Because I sat there and stood over it like, please don't kill me, and it didn't. And I was like, yeah. But so Jacinto, here's the flack I think that I've been getting from people that, you know, always hate change or whatever, and aren't excited for the map. The big thing that I saw was, you know, when people think classic Jacinto, they think hammer, boom shot, torque bow, sniper. But up at the torque bow, there's now what, digger, and I don't know what that flips with because I only ran through it on one cycle for a round. But
Torque bow.
is it torque bow?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of people were just going off on my video about Jacinto and having different weapon swaps. Now, you know, I'm kind of impartial to the sniper. You know, we talked about this, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but I mean, the sniper, unless you're in pub rooms with people that don't know how to move around, I mean, you're not going to do much work with the sniper. So the digger, I think, is going to keep that flow going on the map. Hammer Dawn, I don't really care about. You know, I don't really grab that weapon that much anyway. But you know, I don't really care about the weapon changes. I'm more so, like I said, interested to see how it flows and how well people. Because this used to piss me off so bad on Gears 2 is when people would run up in that tower and nade tag. Oh, all that would irritate me. So now that there's all these different options and whatnot, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. I love it. I love New Jacinto. What do you guys think of it? I know you guys haven't been able to see it blaze in Deface, but what do you guys think of the sound of it?
I mean, me personally, I mean, with sniper there, I mean, in Gal 2, there was a reason to actually have to go up and try to pull that sniper, you know, just to grab that and look down straight through the crack house right into the boom shack and catch that dome, you know, or try to get that quick no scoper on the guys that are holding down the snake line. So. I mean, obviously you can't grab that and throw it and get that insta kill, you know, down the boom shot. But hey, I mean, I'm willing to give it a go. I'm just more of a sniper fan. I dig it.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah, me as well.
weapon
But
swaps could always be tested.
Yeah, I was gonna say different swaps. We could do like digger, boom shot, torque bow, snipe. You know, to kind of change things up. But as far as pub rooms go, I don't really think it matters. But
Do you think that? I mean, do you think that obviously now the whole meta game with it being Gal 3 is going to change, but I mean, there's going to be no real need for a predominant rush to secure that crack house over kind of thing to get that crossfire down. You know,
it depends though, man. There's flames in the crack house now. There's flames in there.
Okay.
Yep.
So
You got
It's still pretty
incendiaries.
important.
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, what I like about the sound of it so far is that we have so many different passageways to come out of spawn, and it's just not that one area. So it makes that map better for TDMs and King of the Hills, and it's always better, especially since stopping power is in the game now from Gears 2 to Gears 3. Those open areas and just having more passageways is always better.
Right. So
just
KL, in your initial opinion, where is the play being made in competitive setting? Where's everybody making their first initial play to?
okay, boom round. It's going to boom. I mean, it's probably going to be balcony boom.
Well, you're
it
probably going to
depends-
put someone in crack house, though.
Yeah, you got to put somebody in there. So when I say balcony, I mean crack house.
Crack
We
house,
never
okay.
called it crack house. We call that balcony.
I'm
'cause
just
it
going off
overlooks-
old MLG videos.
Yeah,
homie.
yeah.
Another 99% call it crack out.
So when during that second round or whenever we decide to do it for swaps, boom shot round is going to be boom shot crack house. That other swap that it rotates with, I don't know, man. It could be, we could see 2 twos, we could see 4 pushes. I think it'll really play out how we used to play Jacinto, where we would do rushes, we would do 2 twos, we would do 3 ones. But now you got that option to flank down that mortar, and it's gonna be lovely, man.
I like that. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm sorry. What is actually there's no mortar? Is mortar still in play?
No,
down there?
mortar's still there,
Mortar's still
but
in
right
play,
from
yeah.
spawn, you can run straight to mortar. You don't have to go up top and then to the left. You can go straight to it.
So no matter what, so now so this is definitely now actually forcing Jacinto to use a heavy weapon.
You could
Yeah.
you could flow through there too, dude.
Yeah, you can run up
There's
the
no
other side
one-way
of the steps.
drop it down, so you can
Yeah.
just flow right through there. So before,
Yeah,
if you're
nice.
trying to take that sniper, now you could actually send someone or multiple people down through that flank and come up there and flank those guys, or go down and underneath through crack house or balcony, as KL says.
Nice, cool. I think we're in store for a really interesting map. Now that if that's going to open it up, taking those hopovers out, it's probably going to be pretty neat.
Yeah. That map looks good.
Basically a new spot to fight for the next 4 years.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
map I'm most
Right.
excited about of the new ones is Cove. I really like Cove, and here's the overhead for it for you guys. I think this is going to be a sick King of the Hill map, and it could probably even work as execution. As you see,
Why do you think it's going to be a good King of the Hill, Cream?
I just the way the map is laid out is a lot of quick cover areas. There's not really many open spaces with cover behind it. So I mean, you can really zip through the map without just getting crossfire to death and able to actually push on a hill.
Do you have custom weapon settings on? Because I'm pretty sure the snub isn't a default weapon.
Oh yeah, I might have had that. That's my fault. But
FYI to the streamers out there, we didn't put snubs as weapon pickups.
yeah, that's the.
What are they?
That's my
Botox,
fault.
Quinn?
Botox.
Yeah, it's probably Botox. That's my
Guys
fault,
like that
guys.
Botox over there at Epic, huh?
Yeah, that's my fault. That's from hosting scrims and stuff. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, I like the way the map is. The only hill that looked bad when I had bots running around on it and just seeing where the hills were was that first digger hill. It just looked like it would be kind of hard to break, but not that terrible.
Yeah,
But
if you got the map up still, the area that's called the still on the map, it's actually got this. It's one of the best callouts in all of Gears. It's like a bar, and above it, in like neon lights, it says hooch.
Oh yeah, on the
It's
outside
like
it
one in
says
the
that.
hooch, 2 in the hooch, 3 in the hooch, whatever, right?
Yeah,
It's got really good callouts.
yeah, I like it. I think it looks sick. I don't. What did you think of it, Arctic?
I mean, I like the map so far. The first hill is always the one that I always look at, and that one is kind of looks like that might be if the first person that gets in there or the first team might be able to lock it down. But after that, it seemed like everything kind of opened up. The biggest thing that I probably liked about it was that there was multiple ways to kind of get to different areas, and then there's like a little bits of individual cover.
Yeah.
So like if you wanted to stop real quick, before you made it a push, you weren't standing out in open getting Lancer down. But one thing I noticed is that there's a drop off, so that like there's like a little balcony. I think that's the bow of the ship, if I'm not mistaken, Quinn.
Yeah, there's the bow is by the torque bow, and the stern is where I think the digger is now.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So over by the torque bow, it's like a little ledge, and you can look over that. So like if people are fighting down there, you can get crosses. So I think there's a lot of different options there, and people won't really be able to camp as easy. Now the only area that I thought was kind of funky was like back at Boltox, because it just seems like a weird area to go to.
Out of the way.
Yeah, it's like just kind of off in a corner. So that's like the only like non-factor area of the map that I really saw. So people have to go out of their way to go get pistol or Boltoc ammo.
Yeah, I think you might find people like hiding back there as well. Like
Yeah.
Kind of like top of blood
when they're out of
drives.
spawns or on execution. But I think okay, so I think it's like probably 3 good clutch rooms. There's one where the digger is, or the stern,
Yeah.
or the bridge. People might, whatever names people are going to call it. Because there's only one way in. There's a bunch of windows, but people are going to probably hide out in there at the Nasher. And then the hooch, and the other one I think is the market. Those are
Market,
2 big, like really close quarters Nashery shotgun areas where if you're good at wall bouncing and movement, you should get some really good stream kills in there with people showing it off on YouTube and stuff.
Or sawed-off kills.
Well, one sawed-off kill, and then you die.
I like it.
So yeah, I mean, here's the one thing I wasn't quite sure of, Quinn. If like the fog looks thick, but I had some people asking me on YouTube if they're off in a distance, can you actually see them? Can you see like the outline of their body? I wasn't sure this because I only played with one bot. And he stayed in my face.
Well, you can't really see across map at its farthest. So basically, if you're going to be where the shield is to see, you could see all the way across to where the digger is, or the bridge, or the stern of the ship. You'll be able to see people back there. It doesn't quite mask you. It's
Can you
just,
get it? I mean, can you get that
Need a
left
mark?
bumper? Can you use that left bumper hold? Kind of like on trenches.
Yeah, but you won't need to deface.
It's not that thick,
You'll
yeah.
see people.
All right, sweet.
Trenches
Can you
is
mark
like
it?
you can't see anything unless you use that. But
Oh,
none,
yeah.
none of these maps do that.
Cool. What other maps we got, Kenny?
Next, let's just get into it. Next, Aftermath, another map. I thought it had King of the Hill potential. I mean, I only saw one thing wrong with that. Then again, I only had bots running around. I had full teams of bots running in. I like the way the map is because A, it has cross snipes, and I love maps like that, and I wish there was more. It's got plenty of weapons. I mean, you got boom shot, inks, frags, cross snipes, and again, those are probably Botox instead of
Yep.
normal snubs. That's my fault.
Yep.
The map is big, but once again, it's kind of like Academy. There's lots of places to run in and out of. And Academy had potential, but there was that spawns every now and then that kind of spawned you across the map that killed it, and I saw that happen once. So that's a map I just kind of want to see played and tested just to see what happens. But overall, even for ranked and stuff, it looked like a really cool map, and I liked it a lot. Especially how you had that massive ship coming through the top of the building. Stuff just
down
got
by the shipwreck. By
Yeah.
the frag grenades.
It's a really cool looking map. I like it a lot.
That's a good call out. And then up above that, so if we're looking at the map where it says the shipwreck, that little square area, that's I think we like to call that the tomb or the crypt, and that's a pretty good call out as well. But interesting note is that whole shipwreck area underneath and used to not be playable space. You used to have to flow around up to the top by the memorial area.
Mm.
And the more we played it, we wanted people have more of that circular flow, like you look at Old Town, and get people churning that way. And it turned out a lot better just because of adding that extra space by the grenades down there.
Quick question. Yo, Quinn, this is the first time and the first map that has had legitimate power weapon to power weapon contact. Was there any kind of hesitation or thought process going on over there with you guys when you made that decision finally?
What do you mean legit power weapon to power weapon contact?
I guess it wouldn't be the
Azura had
first.
it.
It wouldn't be the first one. You're right, Azura. But I mean,
Is power weapon to power weapon contact a term for dual snipes?
Yeah, or bow to bow. That's where I'm going with that.
Oh, so now that I know what you're saying, what's the question again? Sorry, buddy.
Was there any kind of like, man, this is our second time doing this kind of thing, or I mean, is there a reason why, sniper to sniper hasn't been incorporated before? I mean, is that just the, keep the game trying to flow, or to stop that camping situation?
No, there wasn't any willful decision as much as the maps that were designed just didn't really incorporate it that well at its core. But some maps did. It's just I don't think that you guys, I guess, not to label just the four of you, but there's your competitive community seems to not like the other ones, whether they're too big or X for whatever reason. So like, arctic said, uh, Azura has it, Sandbar has it. I know that that's kind of a galvanizing map due to its size, but um, is there any other ones besides those two?
Bullet Marsh.
Bullet Marsh.
Bullet Marsh.
And Bullet Marsh is like, yeah, we made some changes to it, but if you didn't like it back in Gears 1, you're not going to really like it now. So, yeah, I mean, people miss the old canal style, right? I'm going to rush to that sniper, and hopefully I'm faster than that guy, and then when I get there, I could pop his dome before he gets up. And you kind of get that a little bit with Azura, but Azura is clearly a different map, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, I mean, you couldn't seed yourself into that position,
Into that position anymore.
So that way, I mean, it's if I'm the better sniper of the guy, going for that power weapon, but that guy's getting that random spawn in front of me. Obviously, that's not going to be the play here in Gal 3.
Yeah, and you're talking in Azura, you can't really sit there with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get that. You
Yeah,
do get that
because-
split second on the front spawn, of course.
Right, and your line of sights aren't exactly the best, right? You could overwatch the
Yeah,
digger
you got
boom
one
area,
shot.
and
You
then
got
that
pick,
hallway,
yeah,
and
you have to pick up
then
the name.
you flow around to other spots. But so on Aftermath, we played it a lot, and basically you're going to get more of that canals feeling, where there's two sniper balconies, and there's always a sniper for each team, and those guys are pretty much always dueling. And then it's going to really come down to the other team to communicate, hey, I killed the other sniper, now you guys can move and do something. And the other thing, since we talked about environmental hazards, what this map is it has a rumble, and then after the rumble, you hear the rumble, it shakes your screen a little bit. So as a sniper, you need to time your shots in between those rumbles.
Nice.
So-
I'm really excited for this. This Force of Nature is going
Yeah.
to be really, really
Yeah,
good.
the
time.
maps are real sick. Just speaking of that, I didn't touch on it earlier, but Jacinto also, there's it's raining constantly, and the look of the map
Yeah.
is just so much better because it's the aftermath of Jacinto where everybody left, and now the Lambent took over, and there's the Lambent stalks all over the place. It's constantly raining, downpouring, lightning going off. Like it's just a sick looking map, and they all pretty much are. Same with Raven Down and the Blizzard. Aftermath just looks sick with the wreck, and then next, I think is the craziest looking one is artillery. Artillery is it's just wild looking. I mean, it's pretty much a tornado that comes like an environmental effect every now and then. It doesn't do anything really to you. It makes it kind of hard to see, and then there's just like a lot of wind going on, and it kind of goes around the outside of the map, and you see like trees in the background looking like they're going to snap. And it has cross one shot to one shot, as you can see.
Yeah, look at that.
Which-
look at that
which
heavy
one
weapon contact.
When I saw that, I was just like, "What?"
That is awesome.
I mean, I was a little confused because it's just like one shot's already. It's a little hard to use, but cross one shot to one shot. I never thought I'd see that on a map, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that'll play out.
I can't wait to just actually pick that thing up and beat that guy to it, and just roll that one shot over the ledge, and by the time he does the same thing, he's already staring at me as I pull the trigger. I can't wait for that feeling.
Yeah.
That's a serious race, dude. Like,
Yeah,
you get it up,
sick.
and you're both aiming at each other, and you hope that your weapon locks on before his does.
Right.
It's pretty, yeah.
It looks like it'll definitely be a fun map to play, and like I said, I just love the way it looked. What did you think, arctic?
I'm kind of torn on that one. Like I am with, I mean, I like Aftermath. There's like the one thing I don't like about Aftermath is that boom shot. There's only two ways, and it looked like there was potential to be a third way from the middle, but it's like cut off by some obstruction there. But that kind of turned me off to Aftermath, and then our artillery. it has the same line of sight down that long hallway where Digger is. And does that rotate with Boom? Do you know, Quinn?
No, I don't believe it does. I wasn't
Digger
there for
Torque?
the final weapon placement of it, but I'm pretty sure
Okay.
it's a Boom free map.
So it goes straight down in that hallway, but in the middle it's open, and that's how I pictured Aftermath to be. So like artillery has that, but there's like those one-shot rooms are gonna be like people are just sitting in there, and like I mean, I just don't know how I feel about that room in particular. I think it'll be good on like Guardian, but
You mean the one-shot rooms?
yeah.
What do you not like about them?
I just don't like how they're so well protected, I guess.
Well, there's 3 ways in and multiple
but-
windows.
Here's the thing, like if you sit your back up against the window, you can watch all pathways, so you know when people are going to come in. Obviously, that wouldn't be
Right,
the
but if
ideal
you're
thing to
using
do.
the one-shot,
Right.
then
So-
you're going to get shot in the back.
That was the only thing that I think kind of took me aback by it. My brother, he took a look at the map. He said it kind of reminded him of Grindyard from Gears of War 2. Now, Grindyard was an awful map to me, but you know, I kind of see where he's coming from, and I hope it doesn't play like that. But I don't know. That's one of those maps where it's just like
really a superior level race to get to where you got?
there's like it's not like really noticeably higher, but there's like there's a ramp that leads up to Scorcher, and it's like in the middle of the map. There's like what I do like is like there's like a nuclear silo missile right out jutting out in the middle, and then that blocks the digger, which is on the other side, like in a tunnel. And so you have that middle area, and then from that middle area, it goes up an incline up into the Scorcher, and then those kind of wrap around on either side of the 2 bunker areas or one-shot areas. So the design is kind of, it has me kind of like, I don't know. And then there's only 2 ways out of each spawn. So like, I don't know how when the spawns flip or if it's going to be difficult to spawn trap, but that also kind of crossed my mind. So we'll see. It's just one of those maps where I'd rather play it than say, no, this is terrible.
I find the Grindyard reference interesting because Grindyard was like what Deface was saying, is there that prominent spot like Grindyard, you get up top and you can't, there's only one way up.
Kind of like
One way.
underpass.
Yeah,
Nobody likes
overpass.
There was,
Above
you're right.
the dude coming up the ramp, right? And it's not that high like you said, KL, but it's there's 3 ways in, and it's not as advantageous to sit right in the middle of it because you don't have good lines of sight on everyone like you did in Grindyard. I just find that an interesting comparison.
Well,
Cool. Is it safe to say that this Forces of Nature map pack getting ready to come out is hands down going to be coming with the most competitive maps we've seen in one bundle so far?
Who are you asking? You asking me?
The group in whole.
yeah, I mean, I think DLC-wise, this is pretty much. I mean, if you think competitive aspect, almost all the maps look like they're going to work in some way or another. Artillery is the only one I'm like really iffy on, but I haven't really played it, so
Man,
I mean, we'll
I don't
see.
know, Phoenix Rising is kind of, you throw out Escalation.
Right.
Take that out.
Just
Right.
get rid of escalation.
Yeah, but with those up before, which ones don't work is my question.
I mean, like, people didn't like Depths because of how it's kind of laid out in that middle, and I kind of agree with that, but, like, I thought Depths might have worked for Execution, but nobody wants to try it.
Yeah.
But Phoenix Rising has a lot of maps that are good. I mean, Academy, despite what everyone says, that is a damn good map. Like, I feel like it should have been a TDM map. Like, no one wants to play it, though.
Yeah, I said that before when we brought up TDM maps.
Slab? Okay, the changes on Slab, we're going to talk about that. But the changes on Slab King have people, like, pissed. Like, super pissed, adding those 2 new hills. But that was a phenomenal map. Execution, it's great. King of the Hill, prior to TU4, it was great. Now it's just good. It's not one of my favorites now. And Depths, I mean, there's like 2 hills that were like, I don't know why they were placed. One is inside the digger. One is outside at the bottom of the steps. That was pre-TU4, so that kind of ruined it for me playing that map.
You're talking pre-TU4?
It's gone now. Yeah, now
for Depths.
now
That's
it's in
why
the
it
front.
wasn't kind of played. Now it's gone. So, I still think Depths has some potential, but I would only play that map Execution. But, saying that this one is better than Phoenix Rising is like, I think they're about equal, to be honest. I feel like they're about equal.
I agree with you. I think Phoenix Rising had some really good maps, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Phoenix Rising. The only problem with Academy King of the Hill wise was the spawns, because I know we tried it once arCtyC and we spawned across the map and it just ruined it for us.
Yeah.
That was something I saw on Aftermath. It was a similar thing where it looked like a great King map, just how the map was laid out similar to Academy, but then I saw that spawn, so I got worried about it. Depths
Right.
though, I like
Nice.
what got changed because they moved that Digger Hill out and they added 2 new hills outside, I believe, and they got rid of the one-shot hill.
One to
Oh,
make
it's
it
only one?
symmetrical with the metro side,
Okay,
and then we got
Okay.
rid of the one that was up by the one shot.
yeah. And I mean, when it comes
But
to
you're still getting that. You're still getting that real heavy initial contact in the execution play. You know, where everybody's rushing. You know, to wrap around the pillars to make up on their stairs. You know, so I mean
Yeah.
that's another real big thing.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I dug it. I thought it was good. But I mean, once again, I mean, the game comes down to breaking out a spawn. Who's getting out of there first? There. I mean, whether you're rushing out and you're grabbing that sniper first and getting that quick dome rock, or you're wrapping an up and A and around a corner quicker than the next guy and securing that gib.
You talking Aftermath now?
I'm just talking maps. I was
In
still
general.
on with depths, but now I moved on to general.
Man, you're crazy. You talking about depths here, Aftermath here, talking about a sniper here. I was like, there's no sniper at depths, man. You're crazy how you just talk so well. You can tell you commentate stuff, dude. I was like,
Quinn, throw those question marks
like,
on
man,
up
he's
here,
on-
bro. Throw those question marks on.
Yeah, it was good. Regarding the Slab King of the Hill, I mean, me and Quinn talked about it earlier, but it was like, it's not really a great thing because it really wasn't needed, in my opinion. Like, it really wasn't needed. Slab King of the Hill was fine to me, but it's not like it's an impossible hill to break. So it's really just like a hill there, which is constant like chaos and just a slaughter back and forth until somebody finally holds it down. So it's
that's pretty exciting.
yeah, I know. So it's not really a bad thing, and I mean, people are just finding a reason to complain once again. So
You know,
I
when
still
it
think
came-
it's fine.
When it came down to that map, it's taken me a while. Like I'm slowly growing onto it. But the reason why I didn't like it at first because I like those King of the Hill maps like Rustlung and Thrashball where it's kind of like a cross and you got that center hill. You got the 4 points hills and you got that hill in the middle. So that's what I liked about it at first. So the two side hills are growing on me. It's just that one spine in the back is it's always contesting, but you can kind of block that off. So it's not that bad. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean,
Got a
even if
question
you
from
guys feel
somebody.
like you lost one good King of the Hill map, how many did you just gain?
Well, we didn't lose one. That's the thing. Like Slab is still fine.
Yeah, Slab is
The
still
thing
fine.
is, I'd rather have an abundance of maps, like a lot more maps to choose from, than struggling to get 5 King of the Hill maps, which is what was like before the title update. Because now you got
This is going to be my rant for the night. And
Okay.
I'm going to be done after that. No more ranting, and then we can continue the discussion. So,
Sponsored by Team Razor.
Quinn tweeted, and I didn't talk about it last week, but Quinn tweeted that I kind of helped just for confirmation on some of the hills with TU4. So I knew some of the changes that were going into it, right? And two out of the damn 10 maps, 2 trenches and dry dock. People are just going nuts on Twitter. Just fucking, this shit is terrible. Oh my God. This is awful. And I'm just like, dude, like play the other 8 fucking maps. Like play the maps, please. And then a few people I started watching, man, these other maps are really good. Clock Tower is really good. Mercy is a lot better now. Gridlock, oh my God, that map is really good now. What are the other one? Rustlung. Oh man, I like that hill
Hotel.
change. And then it's like you listen to not even 0.5% of the most popular players in terms of the competitive community just blowing the fuck up for no goddamn reason, and they didn't even play the rest. They didn't even try the other ones. Just fucking complaining for no reason. just going nuts. Less than 24 hours after the damn release. Like, chill out. Like, seriously, chill out.
So the rant point is play the damn maps, right?
Play the damn maps. Like, it's
you
a
mad,
better
bro?
game now. Like, that's the type of stuff that just makes me like, what are you guys talking about? Like, two maps out of 10. 2.
But they always find
But
reasons to
especially when it
complain.
comes down to
Done.
those 2 out of 10 maps, those 2 out of 10 maps has been, especially I can see the reason why they were focused on so much is because people are still scrimming those two maps out a lot. And, you know, I agree with you that we do have better ones. I've heard good things about. I like Clock Tower. You know, Hotel got better. You know, that with the bow tie kills being out of Gridlock is good as well. You know, I haven't got a chance to scrim on myself, you know, but I could see that rant coming from, you know, people still playing those maps. And, you know, Drylock and Trenches were good, but, you know, they're still good in layout, though. But you already know what I'm going to touch bases on when it comes down to, you know, the actual hills, the hills not being blocked anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, like for Trenches, would you rather have a hill up in the nest on top of the hill?
Well, no, I love that. No, definitely not.
Right,
I
I mean,
love
like,
that hill being removed.
Yeah, so to arCtyC's point, it's like, that's what you're complaining about? I mean, we can go back the other way if you rather, you know?
No.
I don't think that
sacrifice. I would much rather have them to have to sacrifice a man to be up in that hill to secure the map control without that hill having to spawn there, you know?
Yep, that makes it a lot different because it used to be keep that guy up there because when the hill finally moves there, you got that entire hill unless they got bigger.
No, it was guaranteed. It was guaranteed 60 points. And I love the new changes when it came down to Trenches and Dry Dock with that hill being moved from back one shot to the front and that top hill being removed. I love that. What it actually came down to was the rotation of the actual hills that people got upset about. And I know I was one of those people that got upset about the rotation because I dislike so much how that one shot hill on Dry Dock moved to T-King Garage and how in Trenches it went from mortar to top bar. Because when you setting up on those two hills in the beginning, if it goes there that close, that's two guaranteed hills if they beat you in that first fight. You know, especially on all these King of the Hill maps, I feel that second hill needs to go from that front spot and go across the map to the next one. Like Trenches, since day one, it went from mortar to either up top or down low. Now it needs to go down low. And on Dry Dock, it needs to go from one shot to one of the three hills across the map. It's just when it comes down to the rotation because before hills was blocked, now they're not blocked, and that's what I don't like about it.
It's running from Tiki or Blue Side to one shot.
One shot to one of them two. It goes from one shot to one of them two right next to it. Then it goes from Trenches. It has the possibility of going from Barb. And what it does is, it messes up the whole rotation of the map when it kind of goes that close. Because it could do the same thing on the opposite side of the map when it comes to Dry Dock. It goes to Torque Bow to one of the side hills, you know, on the ramps, to Forklift or Seaside. And that's what I think is just all messed up about it.
Look, guy, like, I get that 100%. It's two fucking that's one map. You talking about one map, dude. Like, and I played all the maps now. So Hotel, here's the spawn that's messed up on Hotel. Hotel, you put the two rings right next to APC and the other one's at Garden, or Garden spawn.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. You have people that spawn at truck and they're right on you at the hill. Send somebody to sit on the damn spawn so it doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, you just block the spawn.
Right?
That's easy. That's common sense. Yeah.
You just block the spawn. That map is 10 times better now because those two outside hills, people don't get 320 points.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Right.
Okay. Look at the other maps. Clock Tower, Gridlock, all the other ones better. Dry Dock. Okay. So with the hill rotation order, that's fine. To me, what that means is I gotta step up your slaying game and just fuck people up all game. So it's a little bit more random now. The only thing that happened that I truly disliked about that hill change on Dry Dock is that people spawn at Banner now. So now you have to send at least one person all the way back behind Banner, and they can't really see anything as they're coming up. And in terms of the hill rotation order, I think people might get upset if people spawn on the hill right as they go down, and then they have spawn protection for 3 seconds. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, I give you that. But in terms of the rotation order, it's like, dude, you got to just slay more now. You got 15 seconds. You can split 2-2. You can go forward or one way. You can guess, be wrong, then go back and fight the hill. But bottom line is, you got to just slay people to death the whole game.
Even when it comes to slaying, we know you only can, especially with good setups, there's only so much slaying that you can do. If that hill's there, and that team gets to jump on it, especially with a good setup, even like Tiki, anybody sets up on Tiki, you're not gonna come 7 out of 10 times. You're not gonna come down there and just run through and break that. You're gonna get crossed trying to come down those ramps. And so with good setups, it don't matter how many slayers you got on your team. And you know that. It don't matter how many slayers you got on your team. With a good setup, ain't nobody breaking hills. That's why I just don't like them. I just don't like any hill on any map being that close. But I agree with you. We did get better maps. We did get better maps. So especially if it's really, especially with Dry Dock and Trenches, if that hill rotation is the same, they might just get X'd out.
Hey, let me ask you this, guys. So these changes to those maps that you're kind of upset about, Blaze. Did these maps now become, I guess, in your mind, or any of you guys, for competitive reasons, unplayable?
Well, Drydoc's always hung on by Con hair in the first place. You know, I mean, it's always been a slam and grab, and I would almost say that it's the alma mater of King of the Hill, and the reason why we're still keeping it in the full-on competitive play because of how well played out in the first place. I still see the map as playable, you know, and if it's not, I mean, we still have 9 others to choose from now.
Yeah, there's plenty of maps. I still think Drydoc's fine, honestly. But I want to move on from this. Oh.
Yeah, to me, it's what is the staple king map now? That's my last question. Like, what's the staple king map? To me, it's Thrash Ball, obviously. But
yeah,
reverting to Thrash Ball, the staple was Drydoc though.
The staple was
I love wrestling.
And the only reason why I would say that, it's borderline between playable and unplayable for me, and I'm leaning towards more unplayable because it just depends on where that first hill goes and mess up with the rotation. Because when it comes down to that competitive aspect, knowing where that hill is going, kind of, and knowing which hills are blocked, it contributes to that meta game towards it, and it takes less randomness out the game. And I don't like randomness in it, I like, having that prediction, and the next factor is there, but 10 seconds, it isn't a lot of time to, to kind of set up on a hill, especially if you're on respawn on the 15-second respawn or whatever like that, or you're across the map and the hill is right next to somebody. It just takes out the competitive aspect of the game to me, and the meta game towards it.
So I see the chat blowing up with wrestling. Wrestling is like, it's really hard for me to differentiate between Thrash Ball and Rust, but they're really close. I just like Thrash Ball more. But yeah, the two best maps right now, Thrash Ball to me and Rust.
Yeah, so. I love Thrash Ball. Have you tried it with the swaps I proposed? Putting the digger and bow tie?
I have not yet. I want to so bad.
I think people should, because honestly, in King of the Hill, that scoreboard comes down so fast that digger is pretty much gone, like, instantly, as soon as the first hill's done.
You need something, even if it's bow or digger, you need something to, try to get up top at times. I'm happy we got 1 hill up there now instead of 2, but even just to kind of get up there and break that setup, you just can't go up there with just lances and smoke.
Plus, it's just cool to have a really powerful weapon like that, right? Yeah. Like for streaming purposes, viewership. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I want to move on from this now, and I'm going to go on my main question that I've been wanting to ask, and I've been dying to hear. Yeah, you're still echoing a little bit. I think you got to just lower the speaker volume or something. Try that. That should work.
Is that okay?
We all good? Yeah, I think we're good. I don't hear anything.
Okay.
My main question for you was pretty much, what is going on with Zeta? Like, is it looking like an actual option? Is the test pretty much done with? The playlist is pretty much on its way out because Alpha's back. Just how things are looking, because I just love the way the game played with Zeta.
Well, I don't know what makes you think that it's going to be gone because Alpha is back. Are you asking that because the official chairman of Alpha is present?
No. I'm only asking that because Zeta...
like that, babe.
The Zeta...
for life, baby.
No. The Zeta playlist, the way I looked at it, it wasn't really a playlist, more of a way to test the setting and what would happen if that was done. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah, so I mean, Zeta is just, like you said, it's a test. We're testing out. Does everyone know what Zeta is?
Pretty much everybody in here does. In case you guys in the stream don't know, Zeta was pretty much, they removed stopping power from all the rifles and everything, and they got rid of the active reload buff from the Lancer. It pretty much just reloaded faster. I don't think it even shot faster.
So
look at all my people. Look at all my people, boy. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, you guys right now in the chat, you're going alpha great. That's not what we're talking about. You guys are not understanding.
I know.
You guys refuse to We've done this like 3 times.
It doesn't matter.
You guys refuse to understand the point in alpha and zeta. Zeta was a way to test settings. It was not like a way to compete with alpha. That's not what it was at all. So yes, alpha greater because.
It's a duel to the death between Alpha and Zeta. Someone's going to come on top. Who's it going to be?
Look, Zeta changes the way the game's played entirely, CrReam.
You know what I'm saying?
It kills your movement.
Exactly.
The top tier 1 player
it
on the
kills your movement.
What?
Well, no, it does not kill your movement.
Face, have you played Zeta?
Wait,
Yes,
Hold on. Take this down. Take this down. You're legitimately trying to say right now Zeta makes the game worse.
Yes.
I'm done. I'm done. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm done.
We're getting off the show.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Everybody could sign off, CrReam. Just, I mean,
hear what you have to say about how awesome Alpha is on next Escalation.
How awesome! I like escalation, man. You know, I honestly do. I mean, it's crazy that you giggle about it, boy. But I mean, if you catch me on the left side bottom spawn of Esky, you know where you're gonna find me? You're gonna find me at the top of your stairs as you're coming down with your head down, getting fucking smashed. I'm telling you, that's how I get down on escalation. That's how it's always been. It's just straight up, grab your gun and go, boy. Put on the heat and roll.
Let's cut this right now. So what is the deal with Zeta, Quinn? Is it looking like it might be an actual thing? Because I said what you guys should do, if it was looking to be that, put it in a toggle like where map selection is, because nobody votes for a map. Everybody does host choose. So I was thinking do that. Put Zeta as an option if you guys didn't want to do a complete overhaul of the whole game to mess with everybody else who likes the way it is.
Yeah, so Zeta, I mean, we're using it as a test to test out no stopping power on the weapons and no active reload damage on the weapons. So it's not just active reload damage on the Lancer. It's the same for the Nasher, right?
Okay, yeah.
You just get a quick reload for the Nasher. There's no stopping power on the Nasher. And yes, boys and girls, there is stopping power on the Nasher. So we have those turned off. That's basically the gist. And there's no other weapons, right? There's no retro or hammer burst, right?
No.
Yeah. So we're just testing that out to see how it feels and looking at the numbers, and not the population numbers, but how the weapons behave, kill totals, death totals, weapons versus weapon totals, things like that. And right now the answer is we're still looking at it.
Okay.
And I can't really give you more than that, but it's not like, hey, we're making it in a toggle for the future, or hey, we're not making it global for the future. I can't really give you a definitive answer as much as we're still looking at it, and it's a fun, different way to play. And like Deface, I mean, if you have beef with it, go check it out, play it.
I play it, and trust me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still carry, you know, as well as I should. I just feel like coming off of the walls or trying to shoot becomes a little bit more different kind of thing, you know. But
it takes more coordination and teamwork.
But when you play over 10,000, I mean, it's like how to do a proper push-up. I mean, do 500 of them a day, you know, for a year, and you're gonna do a proper push-up.
The only thing it changes is one jackass can't hold back almost an entire team with stopping power active Lancer.
Captain exaggeration over there.
No, if four people try to run down a lane, active.
I guarantee you.
Are you
I
serious?
guarantee you there's players out there kind of thing that are like, hey, you know, I mean, this is really dramatically changing the way I play because it's an entirely new playlist. It's an entirely new way to play it. And on top of that, how even if Zeta were to go through kind of thing, how can you turn that to a competitive playlist and, you know, and say, okay, well, this is how the competitive play is going to go, and then go to LAN and then not have any of that capability?
That would obviously not be done until it's in the title update. Why are you thinking like that?
Unless it's directly implemented into the game, it wouldn't be. But I like that classic way to play, you know, without the stopping power and everything like that. And I think, you know, between the two arguments, you know, Alpha is more of a setting playlist, a competitive setting playlist, and, you know, even I had it.
It's gonna get.
Yeah, and it's good. I love that competitive setting playlist, you know, but you can't compare the two. You can't compare the two.
I agree.
Yeah, the thing
two
is,
different things.
I agree as well, but is it fair to say that Alpha is the dominant predecessor to any kind of competitive playlist we're at? I mean, come on, we're in the 4th DLC. We're in the 4th quarter of Gears of War. I mean,
keep getting on Alpha.
The next question, it's how far are you trying to stretch the game, you know, without trying to change it up too much to where it really dramatically drops off?
Well, that's a good question, man. I mean, I think you represent quite a bit of the people there, Deface, with people that don't want. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't like that feel of change of Zeta, you know. So that's one of the things that we're looking at, right? I mean, you can't. we can't just sit here and say, hey, let's make this change right off the bat and not necessarily think about all the
Yeah,
consequences.
that's
you
why.
know?
That's why I just
agree with
wanted to
the
know where
face.
it's going with it.
I agree with the face when it comes to that, because especially with us, being so late into Gears of War being out, and what we want to do is that we want to deep, and what we want is we want to keep players playing this game, and we want to bring more players and play this game. We don't want to lose what we already have. Okay, now like I think if you change the entire game to Zeta, that is a huge fucking change. It really is. That's something that you have to do at launch. That's a launch change right there, and that's why it had to be just it had to be a toggle. That's the only way it can go. It has to be a toggle, and,
Yes.
and that's it.
So-
and people
so-
see how good it is with competitive play.
Here's the question, though. Here's the question. And I hate, like we always talk about this, but all the people in the competitive community, would they rather play with stopping power on or stopping power off?
I think it's
And I think
it's an
that-
easy
I think
answer.
That's a good question too, bro.
Let me tell you, it's an easy answer because everybody who came from 1 and experienced it is going to say off. Everybody who
off.
came in 2 is going to be like, no, I want my stopping power. And that's exactly
Okay.
what happens.
Well, it's the
Because
same thing with new
you
players,
guys in
right?
this Gears
What if-
community-
what if you
Been
get
the
new
same.
players, no?
Yeah, I just want to say, you guys in this competitive Gears community are so afraid of change and refuse to adapt to anything. You want it to stay the same.
Amen.
But
You refuse to change and adapt.
Everybody's
No, you
afraid
can't
to
say
change.
you can't
But-
say that, bro. We're 2 games past Gal 1. We've been playing with this for fucking ever. You know what I'm saying?
Look at that. That chat is
See,
blowing
but
up
see-
with
but see-
off.
but
Yeah,
see,
you're
the
right.
thing
I
is,
see
though,
it.
Now we cannot say this.
I see it. You guys,
Yo,
look at the
check this
chat.
out.
There's 1,000 people. Hold on. Time out. Yo, the face god is calling a timeout right now. There's 1,000 people in this chat room right now, and I can't even jump into a Zeta fucking rank game. Give me a break with your off. That's lies
Zeta,
and fakeness right there.
You're doing it
Get
again.
real,
You're
man.
doing it
You
again.
can't even get a game of Alpha right now.
You're doing it
Or
again.
Zeta. You can't get
You're
a game
do-
of Zeta. You
you're-
can't jump on Gears right now and go play rank Zeta right now. You can't do it.
You're going ham,
You're
bro.
doing it again. Zeta is
But
not
we
a
can, hold on, but
pol-
we cannot say this. Check this out, though. When it comes down to Gears 2 and Gears 1, okay, we cannot say the game has been exciting as it was since Gears 1. We make it exciting, okay, but it hasn't been, as fast-paced, as clutch as it used to be back in the day in Gears
It
of War
isn't.
1.
It isn't. It's
It
close.
is.
It's
It's
close,
two different
but
games.
it's not.
Especially competitive players who were playing back then. All the matches, the clutch opportunities, the crowds, the numbers, everything were bigger in Gears of War 1, and the game was in its infancy back then. It was bigger. Then when we went to Gears of War 2, we seen how many people dropped off. We seen how many people dropped off when the burst came and the stopping power came. It fucking like
That's a pretty harsh assessment to say that
Skill gap.
stopping power is the reason why.
and then the skill gap
people
was like
drop.
this.
Gap
Yeah.
is like this with stopping power.
Well, we know
on.
there's a lot
really
of problems
is.
in Gears of War 2 why it dropped off. It was a
Skill
lot
gap
of issues.
with it off is like.
But yeah, it is.
But to say it's just stopping power, I mean,
It
it's
really.
like in
It,
a vacuum, Gears of War is the only game that exists, and because of this happening,
Isn't
that's
it
why
the only game that
people play.
exists?
No,
It is the only third-person game shooter that exists.
Yeah,
at least
That's
that
good.
doesn't suck.
that's good.
All right. Next, I wanted to ask. With this pretty much being the last DLC, is Epic really looking to make more? Or is it pretty much just based on demand?
What do you mean last DLC?
I think I saw Rod had put out that this was going to be pretty much the last round of DLC, at least for this season. I think the way he
Okay.
worded it, and that they were pretty much looking to do it on a on-demand basis. If there was actually a want for more DLC, then they would look into making more.
That's right from Rod Ferguson's mouth.
Ferguson?
Ferguson.
Ferguson.
Yeah.
Ferguson.
Is that from Fergie, dude?
Okay, guy, quit ignoring the question. Let's go.
Fergie. Okay, so go back to the original question now.
Oh, yeah, is Epic looking to make more DLC after this, or is it pretty much just an on-demand basis?
I mean, the answer is we're still going to support Gears of War 3, man.
Okay, so
Yeah,
even with Fortnite coming out and Epic all like hard into Fortnite.
Fortnite's going to be awesome. If you guys want to follow Fortnite, it's at Fortnite Game on
Fortnite
Twitter.
game?
I knew there was a reason why you were here, bro. You hate Gears of War. You're strictly here just to plug Fortnite's Twitter. That's what it is, everybody.
Is that the Twitter? What I just put in? Fortnite game?
Yeah, it's at Fortnite Game. But no, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm still supporting Gears 3. I mean, that's my main job right now, really. You know,
Cool.
is working on that and trying to support everyone. You know, not just the competitive community, not just the casual community. Because to be honest, I don't think you guys are mutually exclusive. I think both types of players will appreciate something that's simple and good. And I think that's where a lot of the schism happens, where people think that pros think they're too good, and then pros sometimes do think they're too good, and they voice their opinion that way, that their game that they play is better than the game that the noobs play. You know, you see it all the time with, hey, that guy is using X weapon. That guy sucks. He didn't kill me with a Nasher. That's not cool. It's always got to be the Nasher, right?
Yeah.
Or it's got to be the Lancer. If that guy's got something else besides this weapon,
I only get pissed off once the sawed off and the hammer. But sawed off's my fault.
So the thing is, my job, like I said, I'm trying to make the best game for everybody. And to be honest, that's not excluding the pros. I think I'm including everyone when I say everyone.
Okay.
And I think that's the main problem that we need to overcome, is that the pro community needs to be inclusive as well. Kind of like when Kenny talks about, what is that, train a noob program thing?
Adopt a noob, yeah. I want to get that going, yeah.
Yeah, you know, something like that, right? And there's stuff that needs to be said there. And I've said it before. I mean, professional settings or the competitive settings that you guys use needs to, you know, you need to try not to be so exclusive, right? And be a little bit more inclusive, because, like, say, Daface, I don't know if I'm putting words in your mouth, homie, but you like stopping power, okay? Whether you do or you don't, let's say you do, okay? So you like stopping power because you came on in Gears 2, and that's cool. Let's say there's guys that are pretty good, and they like Gears of War 3, and they want to play competitively, but they can't because all the OGs and the grizzled ancients from Gears 1 don't do anything to let them in, right? They basically shut the door and say, no, you're going to play Execution, you're going to play Nasher only, Nasher, right? So if you had it up to you, Nasher would be on the right D-pad. You'd start with it. You know, it's like, I mean, the left on your D-pad has got to be worn out.
It's up to me. I start with a mortar and hip fire because I love it.
Look, I've been around. I mean, like, I've been around since the Gal 1 day kind of thing. And I mean, making that transition from Gal 1 to Gal 2, and then playing the shit out of Gal 2 all the way up until that went ahead and died off, and then moved on into Gal 3. I mean, wasn't there enough healing and mending time to to understand that this is the new meta game to Gal kind of thing?
Apparently not, because people, you know, still hate on Meadowlands, right? I mean, they always that's the rally cry, that's the war cry back from Meadowlands.
Yeah, I want to touch on that because we talked earlier. You know,
when you make that
Hammerburst. Yeah, we talked. I just want to touch on that, and because me and Quinn talked earlier on it, but it's not as bad as the Gears 2 Hammerverse, but it's still really bad in our hands. I told him before, and like I say it all the time. In a team of 4 with us, a Hammerverse where we all have fast trigger fingers. Okay, it's not like any of us can't handle this. There's like no moving. There's no stopping power. Doesn't even matter. Stopping power really doesn't even matter with the Hammerverse.
Yeah. So okay, CrReam, hang on. Let me ask you this. You guys, this room that I'm in with these big, you know, you OG pros here, if you are playing a team of 4 Hammerburst guys, would you switch to 4 Hammerburst, or would you stick with the Lancers?
Every time I've done it in ranked, I have to switch.
On a video you made, dude, and you basically whooped up on some Hammerburst pimps, right? You just pimp slapped them with your Lancers, and then they had to switch.
That was the top level rank player. That's the top level rank player.
No, because it makes you change your play.
It's the top level rank players that we played. Those weren't for like super competitive pro guys. They weren't trying to lock down the map and strategize. But we beat them like because we weren't going to switch because we wanted to whoop their ass because, you know, they think they're tough shit and they always run around with Hammerburst and ruin everyone else's experience in there. But by the end of the match, they ended up switching. They switched to Lancer, but the thing with all the weapons to me are overpowered. It just doesn't matter, which makes it fine, but all of them are overpowered. The thing with the Hammerburst is that there doesn't feel like there's a cap on the fire rate.
You can't get close to it.
You can fire out your clip so fast. You have 2 people looking down the lane, 1 person looking down the lane. That guy is down and out before anybody else on the other team can react to it and pick him up.
Right.
And I say everybody's
okay.
gonna.
And that's
Okay, go to Charlie.
Here's my thing, right? Let's say, for example, I'm jumping into this 5v5 game type, right? And I am rushing, my head's down. You know, I know that the only thing I want to go do is grab my Nasher and I want to slam somebody, right? I come up and around a corner, I walk into a wall, whatever the case is, I just start getting slammed with a Retro Lancer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know this guy's got it. You know, it's like...
Yeah, but you don't know if a guy is a Nasher and then he comes out of nowhere and jibs you.
Yeah, but then that's where it comes down. That's where it comes down to that whole.
Dude.
Yeah, but that's where it comes down to that whole starting weapon loadout thing. You know, like boom, we know it's going to be the Lancer, we know it's going to be the shotgun. I mean, if you look at a game,
I have no problem with having to mix it up.
Straight. You have a problem what?
I said I have no problem mixing it up because if you think about it, you play too, Charlie, League of Legends. You got to change your whole setup in game.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to get there. I was going to make that point.
Yeah,
all
like
right, so
I have no problem with
it. Have you ever played League? League of Legends? Yeah. Dabbled with it, whatever it is, right? Look, when you jump into a game, right, you're like, okay, this guy picked this champ, so I'm gonna pick this champ to, to counter, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's like now when we're looking into like a startup kind of thing, it's like, all right, well, this guy's playing Bayard, and he's running with this and this, like, is there like putting that kind of incorporation and to know how they're running, for their starting, with their starting loadout, so that way we can adapt. Because when you jump into
take it down, Charlie, take it down.
Real quick.
I got another good one. Whenever we're ready, go ahead.
Deep breaths, baby.
Not to interrupt you to like run on what you're saying. I just want to say, so far I've heard two pretty cool ideas from this show alone, and that is maybe show what the other team is running with pregame, so you can plan a strat, right?
Yep.
So I hope you guys are writing this down or something. And then the other idea was being able to have a know your position in the lineup when you're going to spawn.
That's fine.
Yes, that's Gears 1 style.
Maybe in the pregame lobby you could switch which slot.
Yes, that would be huge.
So write that stuff down.
Now that incorporates. That's going to bring the need in for power weapon players. For these heavy weapon contact maps, for these power weapon and power weapon contact maps, right? And then I mean, when we're jumping in, okay, yeah, cool. Now we see what this guy is and what he's running. Now it's going to be like, okay, fellas, well we know that they got 2 hammer bursts and it's Bayard and Dom. So we're going to have to play this way. So when KL is playing 4 guys in a ranked game and he goes straight in, heads down with the Lancer via a hammer burst, and he has to adjust his strats in game, it's like, okay, I guarantee you it changed your entire play style in order to
But that's the same with any sports, dude.
When you see, like, let's say that does happen, right? If I see a team and I see them with 4, going back to the question you guys before, if I see them with 4 hammer bursts lined up, especially real good players, I'm going to have to still go 4 hammer bursts to match up with them, because the simple fact is that I think if I go Lancer against hammer burst and, I'm crossing across map against a guy who has a damn good hammer burst, I'm still going to get outshot. Because like KL said, there's really no cap on it. Even with an active Lancer, I'm still going to get outshot regardless. So I have to load out with another hammer burst in order to even match up in that fight. So
here's the one flaw with the, although it's an awesome ass idea, Charlie, but the one flaw with that, showing the weapons at the beginning of the stream, you can change them as soon as you get to that next screen and nobody can see it.
Yeah, but then again, that's also...
It's a good metagame, though. It's a good ass metagame. Like,
I think, what if you hit the back button and you were able to see a list somehow of what they're using? Because you can change in-game, what if you hit the scoreboard and you were actually able to see their lineup of weapons?
I mean, it's like
then people are gonna be trying to switch at the last moment to like kind of throw somebody off.
I think you guys are getting caught up on too much of, hey man, it messes up my play style.
No, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Like I said, in sports, that's what you have to do. You have to adjust. They're running a 3-4 defense, and hey, in the first quarter they blitz this amount of times. At halftime, teams make adjustments. What were the plays they were running? Okay, now we're gonna go and we're gonna try this, right?
Now the reason why I don't
mid-game, you just have to do that with everything.
Yeah. The reason why I don't think it's gonna work out like that is because as soon as they see the burst, like it's gonna get to that point where people are gonna try different stuff out in the beginning. They're gonna try that metagame, but I think in the end, no matter what, 4 hammer bursts will be anything else, and people are just gonna, next thing you know, they're not gonna be switching up. They're just gonna stick to it. It's just gonna be a staple where they just stick to it, and then all that option won't even matter anymore.
I want to touch on that.
We got Alpha, baby.
Can I touch on that?
Face God, you can fuck my bitch. Let's move on to the next topic.
Can I touch on this? Because I've always been wanting to get people to test, because I want Quinn to see it finally. He keeps saying he wants to see it happen. He wants to see us test it, and so do other people. and I've been dying to test it.
There's certain maps though, like you're saying, Blaze, with everyone using 4 hammer bursts. There's certain maps that will let you be able to flank around and do stuff, right? And certain maps just don't let you do it. You know, it's just designed like
the other thing,
it's funneling too much here, or they could lock down all areas of a map by sitting in one spot. And then there's certain maps where you can't do that. You know, like for instance, Jacinto, Forces of Nature. Go download it tomorrow. Check it out. Jacinto, there's a lot of routes that you could flank on people.
Yeah, I understand what you said, especially with the whole map layout. But you know, just still, on my personal opinion, I think especially the map layout's not even gonna matter because people are gonna understand these map layouts and they're gonna have a strats or whatever like that, and they're gonna sit up here or there. They're gonna do 4 pushes or whatever though. But as soon as it comes down to focus and fire the other team, team firing or even just matching up against some kill one-on-one across the map, I still think that everybody is going to end up loading out with a hammer burst in the long run because they know that if they have a burst, and especially a damn good burst, they're going to outshoot any other weapon. They're going to see these flanks, especially with good communication. That's what it is. With good teamwork and communication, nobody's going to flank around the map and you're not going to know it. It's still that central point of the map where everybody sees, and, they're still going to know what's coming. So I still think everybody's still going to get outshot.
Yeah. I just want to touch on something on that. Bringing that up, one of these Cream of the Crops coming up. Because I'm using this online tournament to test things. This is exactly why I created this weekly online tournament. Any of you guys can go join. I'm not trying to plug it because I'll wait till the end for that. But I'm going to make one weekend. It will be no holds barred. Use anything because I want to see how it plays out. Maybe I'll see mixes of Retro Hammy Lancer, Sawed Off here and there. I want to see how it works. And it's free entry, so what does it matter to you guys? You got nothing to lose.
Yep.
And we're going to do
good,
that.
Man.
And speaking of on Adopt a Noob, because somebody's questioning about it, it's not an actual thing yet. It's something we're trying to do. Well, mainly me. I'm trying to get other people into it. I just haven't really worked on it yet. It's going to be basically, top players. Doesn't have to be competitive pro players. Can even be ranked players. Anybody who wants to get in it. Just grabbing new casual players, even people that are still into it and can't get the hang of it, training them, and then maybe at the end we'll have a tournament for fun to see who did the best training their guys. That's pretty much what it's going to be.
Nice.
And,
yo, Quinn.
Yo.
So I would like to thank you for addressing the pistol right off the bat. It's amazing. I've heard it through 6-7 different players.
I love it.
How quality. I mean quality, Quinn. You know what I'm saying? It's nice.
That's give your props to Pete Knob on that.
Yeah,
Pete's the man. We love it, and we got to get him on here one week.
It's great. It's amazing. Anyway, but so what I'm trying to figure out what makes you pick what bugs to fix kind of thing priority over something else kind of thing. So I mean, obviously we fixed the with the pistol. I mean, what's up with the mantle kick and like the rank resets, etc. When did those kind of take action?
The mantle kick and what was the other one you said?
Like the rank reset?
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask you. Like, why have things like that been looked into, or you just weren't able to really find a way to fix it?
Yeah, man, the ranked reset thing is a serious issue that we've been looking at for a long time. It's really a tough bug to narrow down, dude.
That's what I figured.
It's really tough. It's never happened to me.
It's never happened to me either.
We've had thoughts of, hey, maybe it has to do with playing in split screen with people doing X, Y, or Z, and I've never played split screen with someone, so maybe that's something to do with that. I don't know. We've got a pretty crack QA team working on stuff like that, but it's pretty tough, man, to narrow that down.
Okay.
And so the mantle kick issue, again, we know about it. We're looking at it, and that's pretty tough as well. That has to do with certain things. I'm not going to speculate because I don't want to give false information.
That's what the show's all about.
I'm not really, I'm not down in that trench with those guys working on that said issue, but it's definitely something that we know about. And I know, people hit me up on Twitter, and I'm sorry if I don't reply to you guys. It's hard for me to reply to every single person.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I see you guys hitting me up on Twitter. I value the feedback. Please keep hitting me up with feedback. And it's just that's a tough one, but we're looking into it. Believe me, we are.
Now, how do you? Obviously, the epic community kind of thing. How? What's the next biggest idea on your guys' radar right now as far as the Force of Nature updates or bug fixes or anything along those lines? Is there any that are like really on the radar that are like, man, we gotta fix that?
Oh, fixes?
Yes.
Besides those two you mentioned, I mean, I know people talk about like, there's that whole sponging thing, right? I get that all the time, like sponging.
Just eating that hard L and being like, damn, how'd that kid just eat that and then wash me?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's another issue where if your connection isn't exactly the best, right? So people always say, when are you going to have dedicated servers on? Because you said you have dedicated servers. Dedicated servers have always been on unless we take them down for certain reasons, which is very, very rare. And that's usually when like a TU comes around, we cycle them off to make sure the TU gets cycled on, all that stuff. But they're always active, okay? But those of you that grew up in a PC world and PC gaming, just because there's a dedicated server doesn't mean there's no lag. It's still about your connection to the server. And so people that hit me up saying, oh, well, my speed test says I've got the most awesome Uberist speed ever.
FiOS!
I don't care. That's not exactly the best measure of your speed. Like, seriously, it's not because dedicated servers don't exist. I've never had a lag problem. And I don't have like some super awesome FiOS or whatever crap, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Have you guys suffered from lag in this game?
No, it's not really bad. It's really when it's on a bad like peer-to-peer host. That's honestly it.
I tell you what, I haven't seen the timer count down in spawn, and then 10 seconds go by, and my entire fucking team's dead. I haven't seen that yet.
I have, but that's only in private matches like
private matches.
But
I've only seen that. Yeah, I haven't seen that since Gears 2.
Right.
Have you guys? I don't know if they fixed it in the last update, but when it came to when it came down to sniping and you zoom in a certain location and your aimer goes off completely somewhere else into the sky.
Yep.
When you zoom in, did you guys fix that? I haven't been sniping. I don't snipe anymore, so that's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, that makes me sad. There's not enough sniper play in this game.
Like you were doing drugs. Like, man, I don't do coke anymore.
It feels like that to me though.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I don't get a chance to snipe like that anymore. I love sniping, So I haven't.
The sniper isn't a power weapon.
It's a power weapon when it's in the right hand.
Quinn, I want to ask you.
Yes, it is.
Can I ask you? Cutting this off with what Pete did to that sniper when he made it a 4-shot clip?
Oh my God! That was
did
nice.
you guys actually like that, or did you just do it for fun?
What kind of question is that?
Well, no, like you guys, with
fun.
No, like playlists every week, like just kind of as a joke, or do you guys think that would be like an actual serious thing, maybe?
Yeah, so we did it for what I like to call funsies.
Funsies, all right.
We did it for funsies, and because like KL says, yeah, it's not a power weapon, and Blaze says it is in the right hands. Yeah, there's a really high. If you're really damn good, then you could shoot people's heads off, and it's a power weapon. But for the most part, it's really low on the tree of power weapons compared to other ones because
it's not what it used to be.
Body shots don't really. Unless you're doing team fire, right? Body shots don't really. It's like, hey, I shot that guy and he ran away. That was cool.
Yeah, but it's also not on the map as much either.
And when it comes down to the 4 shots, you can hit somebody with 2 quick shots, and if you hit somebody with 2 quick shots, you should be able to down them, And that's why when KL said it seemed like more of a power weapon, when it came down to being
2 quick shots. But the problem is you have to reload in between those shots.
Right. Yeah, but with the 4 shot, you don't have to.
With Gears 3 speed.
When it came down to the 4 shot, because if you could waste your clip really quickly, just going bam, 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 and next thing you know, the sniper's over. If the clip's gone if you don't use it smartly. So that's why I agree when we say it seems like more of a power weapon. Be able to do those shots quickly, like shot, and it kind of gives that resemblance to the active reload down, but it's not technically there because you still have to be skilled with the weapon, make it useful.
All right, now I'm gonna switch topics a little bit. The chat's demanding it, and I told you I was gonna ask you about it. With MLG and Epic being so close, hand in hand, they're saying that there's a good relationship. Sundance is saying that we have a really good chance to do something great with Gears 3. I know you guys work together a lot on things, the whole spectator mode and all the stuff you guys have put in to pretty much make competitive Gears look better and give it a shot. How are things looking? Are you allowed to comment on that, or?
Yeah, I can comment on it.
Okay. So how are things looking for MLG and Gears 3?
Well, Epic and MLG's relationship is really good, like you said. I mean,
are we talking beer drinking buddy good, or like, yo, we're getting ready to rock a fucking event good?
I want to say too. I want to say. Can I?
By the way, I don't drink beer, so I mean, I'll be drinking, Pepsi Max.
Right.
Can I say it though? I mean, especially with MLG Raleigh coming up. I mean, I just think there's so many signs that point to Gears getting its chance. I mean, how is it really looking, honestly?
Well, I can't say. I'm not allowed to say in that regard, but I can say that now we have had a better relationship with MLG and those guys. Like, I know them personally, right? So you say, hey, we beer drinking buddies. They've come down here and visited us multiple times. We've had meetings with them. We've chatted with. That's where a lot of these, in my opinion, cool features that have come into the game is from them. The next hill indicator for King of the Hill.
Was that all him? I know that's what he's big on.
The spectator cam, like you said, is pretty awesome, right? I mean, that's great. That's like a serious feature that went into the game.
Serious.
Because Major League Gaming was like, hey, this would be really cool. And we're like, hey, not only would it be cool for you guys, it would be awesome for Twitch TV and all the people streaming. I can go and I can watch a cast without having the commentators get jibbed by the team they're on, right, in order to go into spectator camp. And that was just so clunky, right?
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
They've helped us with those features to make the game pretty awesome. So, and I've been up there. I've been to MLG HQ. I chat with those guys pretty regularly. I mean, we haven't chatted recently because of MLG Columbus, and I wanted to let them, do that thing. And that was an awesome show. So congrats to MLG on the good show there. But yeah, man, we're in cahoots with those guys. But I can't necessarily say, what's going to happen.
Of course, yeah. I don't expect you to answer on that. But I mean, you got to think about it. There's a pretty good core of the competitive community in here. Should everybody be keeping the faith right now? I mean, we try to preach every week, just keep it alive, keep it going. I mean...
Well, I mean, the thing... Yeah, sure, keep your faith, but MLG is great, but do you need to necessarily have MLG to be successful?
We tried preaching this. We tried.
I wanna now... My thing on that... Well, this is what I was going to say towards, okay? And this is one of the suggestions that I want to make. Because I will always say that, competitive gaming contributes to the life of a lot of games, It contributes to the life and longevity of a lot of games. That's my opinion on it. But I don't think we necessarily need them to survive. But when it comes down to it, especially during tournaments, and so far, all the tournaments that have been ran has been done by the players that's like by the lowest people on the totem pole. Kind of people who buy the game and play. Like Hyphen Station was a player ran tournament. A lot of us who love the game so much, we made it happen. We made it happen. We did a damn good event. But as far as it comes down to the funding and the prize money, that's where, some of the main issues are. And my thing is, suggestion would be, even if you guys could do it, especially if the players can raise about, $12,000 in prize money and, and make this tournament happen just based off our own money alone, would it be possible, it'd be nice, if you guys can, match the money. If we was able to come up with like $10,000 in prize money.
Don't even need 10,000. I just want to be honest right now. That's too high. I say just 6,000.
Well, no.
That's all we need to get people going.
That's broken down into into top 8 placements, and then also funding for equipment.
Okay, yeah. Well, like funding for the event and everything. Yeah,
exactly. And funding. If we can do that, it'd be nice if Epic can match that. Because I really feel like the competitive community helps the longevity.
I just want to say, just to speak on it, and I'll let you go right after arCtyC. Okay. I just want to say, shooting-wise right now, there are no fun shooters, and Gears of War is that fun shooter. Halo's on its last legs. It's done.
I heard Halo got booed over the weekend.
Yeah, Halo's on its last legs. It's not the same. It's done. Get it out. Get something fresh in. And I know that's what MLG wants with Gears, but I try to say every week, we don't need MLG, but the problem is we lack the funding.
It's not even that, man.
No, it is that.
Hype Station is for the player, by the player kind of thing. So it's the players organizing and running a tournament for everybody to kind of come over and hang out, But
I'm trying to... Hold on. Let me get my stuff in. Hold on. The problem is, like with Hype, we are lacking the funding. That's why Hype 3 is up in the air right now. We don't know what's going on. Barbosa was on last week to talk about that. We're lacking the funding. That's the problem. Gears doesn't have the money. We're trying to make it happen. You can't shake your head because it's true.
you know, me knowing them personally, Barbosa and CDN, you know, I know how much of a burden it put on them, you know, to make sure that they got all the prize money out, make sure that everything ran smoothly, and you know, I know how much it hurt them in their own personal pockets doing something that they love for the game. And I give them shout outs every day, and I tell Caesar thank you for actually making this happen for us, because that's what we needed. Because if we didn't have Hype Fest, you know, nothing would be the same right now if we didn't have those tournaments.
Yeah,
So,
obviously, yeah.
They definitely wouldn't.
Yo,
This is
Romnick,
what I
join
was
the
gonna
club,
say.
man.
I feel like Epic could do this, and Quinn, you know, I don't know who I would need to talk to, what needs to happen to make this a reality, but you know, I brought this up on maybe like 3 episodes ago, having like an Epic Con similar to QuakeCon. I just feel like they could do that, and if we were to, I mean, that's only once a year. Gotta think about that. It's only once a year, but I feel like that would be our MLG. That would be our grand stage in the long term. You know, we could have little hype events, whatever, to try to get funding. But I feel like that would be a great build up, or you know, kind of like an Evo. But Epic is actually doing this. They made Unreal. You know, they've done Gears 1, 2, 3. I don't know why they couldn't do it. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Epic. The Unreal Engine is ubiquitous.
Yeah,
so
everyone,
like,
a lot of people
it's
use
not like they
Unreal.
couldn't fund it.
we
It's not
don't
some
need
small
MLG,
studio.
but we damn sure need Epic.
Yep.
That's what needs to be said. We don't need MLG, but we need you guys to have our back when it comes down to this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I wish. I mean, do you think it's possible, Quinn? Because I mean, you're there. That Epic would actually look into backing pretty much a hype or any other community ran event if it's done like correctly and the right people are doing it.
So if it's ran correctly and the right people are doing
Well,
it.
not that hype wasn't done right, but it could have been done a lot better. My one criticism with
hype 1 or hype 2? Because hype 2, I mean, I watched a lot of those streams. I mean, it was
the problem was a lot more things could have been done. They didn't reach out to enough people. Honestly, that was my problem with hype.
You know, Pete was there, and you know, I know Pete seen some of the issues at first, and you know, I know it came. We fixed, you know, the DLC issues with him there, and I thank him for that. You know, because the tournament went the same though. But you know, when it comes down to, you know, like it is the equipment, the equipment, the funding, and everything. I know it was a real burden. It was a lot of issues though, but you know, thank God we got a lot of playmakers in our community, and we just made shit happen. We did the same thing at Hype 1. We made it happen. It was so many problems that went wrong, but it got done. You know, it was a little messy behind the scenes though, but you know, we gave off that impression that this is the best right now. You know, we made it look damn good to all the people who was watching at home.
Yeah, no, this is I mean, it's a definitely a hot debate, you know, within your community and everything. But the thing is, if you look at it, where you said you don't need MLG, you need Epic and Hype does this to help out, and all these tournaments and stuff. The thing is, if Epic and MLG, you know, if we are in cahoots like we are now, Gears 2, at least what happened on the MLG side, should never happen again, right?
Yes.
You guys remember the reasons they...
Yeah.
It was just crap. That whole game was just... Ugh.
We made the best out of it. But yeah,
I'm not going to speak on Gears 2, but, I mean, you know what happened with MLG and, like, what they said the reason was, right?
Yeah.
So now that we're in bed with MLG, you know, we're tight, you know. That is not going to happen again as far as if the game is available, it's not going to get dropped because there's poor relationship between them and us.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's really good to know. That's good to know.
I mean, I've been working with them for over a year now because we started talking right before the beta went live.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was basically selected to be, you know, Cliff. That's Cliffy B for you guys. We call him Cliff over here. He personally just selected me and chose me to be the ambassador to MLG and to reach out to them. And so I started talking with Sonny and, you know, Killa KC and Adam Apicella.
Yeah.
And I mean, we became pretty good buddies after that. And they came down. They all played the beta. They loved the beta. And we've just been chatting ever since and getting in features. But the thing was, Gears 3, the development for Gears 3 was late in the game at that point. You know, so a lot of the stuff that was simple to get in had to go in later, right? So like the next hill indicator, the spectator mode wasn't simple. That was the really Herculean effort by,
And kudos to
again,
y'all.
Pete Nubb.
Yeah, Pete told us he had to hack that in the game, basically.
Yeah. So so we're working with MLG. So you know, if you want to say hold out faith, but at the same time, if you guys want to help keep the community alive, you can't be so esoteric and restrictive on the settings you play. You got to bring more people in.
I know.
Instead of exclude people.
At the same time, though,
we're excluding you guys.
Yeah.
Because you guys use nothing but the Lancer, and you don't use the Nasher, for example, right? You got to bring more people in.
I just want to say though, when speaking of that, I have no problem with the sawed off. That won't even honestly be used that much. Use a sawed off once, you get that kill, you're dead. That's it. You know, you get that one kill. People may randomly use it, but it won't do much. Retro, 50-50. I mean, I still say it got a little buffed. You guys say that's not the case. I don't want to get into that rant. That's a whole different thing. But still, I feel like that's not too big of a deal. I'd have to see it played with more, though, honestly. Hammer Burst is my only issue. Because if you put it in our hands, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I get that, but that's what I'm saying. So, and Blaze feels the same way. Are all of you guys unanimous? If the Hammer Burst was available, every single pro is going to use that. Like no one's going to.
In Gears 2, we had the option, and we just went right to Hammer Burst. There was no thought.
No, that's farther from the truth too, man. There was a fucking huge debate on what the starting weapon was going to be, whether it was going to be Hammer Burst or if it was going to be Lancer coming in the Gal 2, and everybody voted on Hammer Burst. And what happened? Nobody could move out of fucking spawn or move anywhere. You came out of cover on Pavilion, you were down. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about matches that drove like 12 hours. You know, that's the reason why that shit got all handled up on that. That's the whole hype behind it. That's the whole hype behind not using the Hammer Burst in the first place. Is just Quinn, how OP it was.
Basically, we felt like as a competitive community, we made a mistake giving the Hammer Burst a chance. We did. We don't want to go back to that and say, yeah, let's give the Hammer Burst a shot when we know after we tried it without a fire rate cap, it's just not going to work. Like, it's just not going to work.
Without a fire rate cap or like a lower damage.
From MLG said no restrictions except for the Hammer Burst.
I don't think that would honestly be a problem.
No restrictions except for the
Don't act like it won't be a problem. Listen, I'm like Kenny.
So
I don't
you can't use the Hammer Burst, but
everything
everything else is fair game.
Yeah, I told you, I'm 50-50 on Retro. I just have to see it in an actual match. I have to see it. That's me. I just have to see it. To get my final decision, that's it.
Yeah, no way, bro. No way, man. No way I'm gonna.
Nobody's gonna have it.
No way that I'm gonna allow a Gal 2 mistake to step right into MLG and Gal 3. So what? We can have one more event and see how fucking ridiculous the Hammer Burst.
We can't afford that at this point. That's the problem.
That one event, like, see, the thing is, that one event. Everybody was so excited for Gears of War 2. It's like, we got the next game, right? In that event, we were 7 passes away from selling out. 127 different passes. We were so high. We were happy. We were very happy. But then that event, it did a blow.
I had my event.
It did a
my
blow
match.
to the viewership. It did a blow to the players, and it was never the same again after that. And I won't. Me personally, I know I wouldn't stand for going into another event with those settings, and it being probably one of our only events that we probably have this year. And when we get dealt another blow like that, and it's just like, wow, what an event. And then you have, then we lose people.
I'm telling you, it's really
here's how
really that Hammer
Burst. We've gone through Gal 1, we've gone through Gal 2, right? We're now 4 DLC packs a year later into this thing. You know what I'm saying? We now have 10 maps. We now have all the tools. We've been playing this game day in, day out with whatever starting weapons it is. I mean, if for anything, we've seen them. We know what's going to help the game flow. We know what's going to make it smoothly transition in the tournament play kind of thing. So my idea is get these maps together. Obviously everything's gonna have to be overhauled again. All the maps as far as weapons, etc. And then just move in and say, look, this is how this is gonna be, and press on in from there with all the information in your hand. You're saying, put it all together right now. Now that everything is out, there's nothing new that is going to be added to Gal. I mean, that's.
Yeah, so you're saying take all the information, all the issues or whatever, And if we can get, like, let's say,
We're here. I mean, we're at the pinnacle.
Yeah, we're at the pinnacle, and we make all these changes, or improvements, and we make these improvements on the next title update. If that can be the last title update that we really need, then from then on, the game is just going up, just bringing people in. That's still playing.
What are you talking about? Like, what are you saying?
Well, I was just saying more of the hammer burst. If you guys had changed, I'm just saying if you guys made any changes towards anything at all, if it came down to the maps, locations, weapon swaps too, weapon swaps as well. It needs to go in the next update, and at that point, no more changes, no more nothing.
Right.
It's,
look at the Jurassic problems that Halo had, kind of thing. Look when Halo Reach came out. I played Halo Reach at MLG DC at the Combine. Right, boom. I jump in. I get slapped up with some of my homies. And we move on. Right. But I can't come back in to play Halo Reach because I'm so clueless about those settings. I'm update after update after update after update. You finally get lost into where everything is, and look where it's at now. It's watched out.
Reach. The thing is with Reach, their competitive was nothing like the casual play, and that's why it was all over the place. That's what we're doing now. We're doing default. Exactly. You hop in and you play. The only difference is we have no retro hammerburst sawed off. That's the only difference. So you still know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And what we've been trying to do this entire time, right, since the game came out, our default needs to be as close as fucking possible to our competitive play. As close, and that comes down to weapon swaps, weapon times, the damage rate on everything. Server-side updates are good when it comes down to testing and stuff, but I remember going to a lot of these lands, the timers was insane, and I'm happy to switch now. But our default settings need to get firmed, and they need to get solid, so we never have to touch them. And every new player that we ever bring to the game.
But the default settings are what you guys are using now, right?
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
There's only minor things that there's minor things that I'm just looking into weapon swaps like the thrash ball swaps because the problem with the scoreboard when it comes down, there's no more digger.
So the only beef with
minor things though,
the only beef or the only trouble with that you guys have is, let's say you test that and we're like, yeah, you know what, that's a good change. We should do that, and then we make it the server side, and the only hassle on your end is just to make sure that you just have to switch it, right?
Yeah, that's
really not a big deal.
That's real minimal. Yeah, it's
the
real
bigger
minimal
deal is that if you guys find something and it's awesome, then we'll change it and put it online, and then you guys can test with it all the time.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's what I like working with you guys, because you guys have done this already. Like with trenches, you switch the digger down low and all that. And
Yeah. I mean, do you guys remember playing Gears 1 and Gears 2? That never happened.
This is what I love. No, I mean, come on. If I would have ever thought that one day I'm going to have somebody from Epic on the show talking to me open about everything, I would have been like, no.
And not to mention the fact that the first one was perfect.
Yeah, anytime in Gears 1 and 2, I'd be like, no, get the fuck out. They don't care about us at all, because that's how it was. That's how it was back in the day, and we're still getting used to the fact that you guys are actually helping us and listening to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Problem is, some guys aren't open to change, like we've said a million times, so they don't want to test things. But this is why we got to force things on them just to see if it even works.
If you don't try new things, your community's not going to grow. It's just going to
I know, and like I told you, my only problem is, first, I got to see the retro, but secondly, and most of all over anything, the Hammerburst, just the way it is, it just will not work right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just ignore the Hammerburst, dude. If the settings, MLG came out and said, hey, all the weapons except for the Hammerburst is not allowed. I think your game wouldn't change that much, because no one's going to use a sawed-off, because they're just hurting their team by using a sawed-off compared to a Nasher, right?
Well, what about making the hammer burst an actual burst again?
That's a good question.
Why is that?
I gotta ask you. Hold on.
Why am I gotta touch on that? 3 or 4 round smash.
I gotta touch on that because Quinn.
First of all, it never was a 3 or 4 round smash.
In Gears 1,
it was.
Gears 1, it was.
No. Gears 1, it was 6-round burst, and it was a scattered, inaccurate mess.
All right.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It wasn't a precision weapon at all. I could bring. You want that?
If you made.
It's been a minute. All right.
I mean, no one used that in Gears War 1. Did it? Was anyone using
no, seriously. I mean,
nobody used the hammerburst.
Can we actually put a cap on that? I mean, or actually put it to a burst?
Listen. If you put a burst on it with how strong it is
piss some kids off.
It's gonna. Well, listen, you can't please everybody, but it'd be interesting to see if you did on a playlist, because you guys have these options to just go on your computer and boom, that playlist is there, or in that playlist that is now like this, to put a burst fire on the Hammerburst, and we could actually try it out, like put Hammerburst only on a playlist just for a day or something, and let us know, and we'll hop in there and test it.
Oh, well, I
You
mean,
know, yeah,
it's just going to be doing some swaps and stuff like that, too. Yo, Pete, why don't you, Quinn, sorry, why don't you put a flag at the top of a bait and come grab it and run it in the
That's too much. I'm thinking of stuff that could actually be done, like something like that. If you guys would actually look into just trying it to see how it is, I don't know.
Right, I feel you.
I mean, we tried a sniper rifle with a 4-round magazine.
We loved
I love that.
And I thought it was outstanding.
It was outstanding.
I thought
That was fucking so incredibly clutch. It was unreal. You have no idea the amount of tremendous value I got from picking that up for the first time.
Yeah.
It was wild. Boy.
The great thing
that's a permanent change if you ask me. And
Absolutely.
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying when it came down to the next update. Is that, like, you know, weapon swaps is something minimal that we can do ourselves when it comes to land if you guys made any changes. But as far as, you know, weapon caps, you know, damage caps, all things like that, that's what I was saying that it needs to be in the next update. It needs to kind of just be final.
How about this? Just speaking about this, what if for this weekend for Cream of the Crop I made retro and sawed off in there?
I think you'll probably find people not using the sawed-off because it's just not.
Well, just to see, you're saying don't think about the hammer. So say for this weekend, I go and say it right now because I have full control. If I could say this weekend, all of a sudden, retro and sawed off are in.
Yeah, I think if you do that, you'll probably see a retro user or two. But even the retro just isn't as versatile as the Lancer.
You're gonna see me dual wielding shotguns is what you're gonna fucking see. Yep. You know.
I love how you just like conversation bomb everyone, Charlie.
Yeah, guys, somebody.
That's part of the show. That's how we get down here at the Active Reload, you know?
McNug,
which, by the way,
McNug
we should be wrapping up here shortly.
Yeah, we will, but McNug in the chat, we already touched on the mantle kick. They said it's just a really hard bug they're looking into trying to fix. It's just not a simple thing.
Yeah. Wow. So anyways, I would just do it, dude. Like, if it's free entry, why not? And then you yourself, you could see what's the ratio of people using which weapons. I'm willing to say that you're probably sawed-off users is going to be very minimal.
Oh, of course.
People might do it now that are in the stream just to, you know, spite me. But in retro, you're not going to see as many Lancers either because, like, certain maps, like even on Slab, I mean, it's hard to use a retro because the sight lines are so long, you know? So that's my thing.
It'd be more like, you know, if retro got put in, it'd be a close quarters. People gonna be like fighting shotgun fights. You know, they're gonna have it out and they're gonna just use it a lot in close quarters and blind fire, and that's gonna be its main purpose. And you know, it's real irritating fighting a retro with a Nasher. And I don't think people be doing a lot of
instantly jib him and he has to down you.
Well, nah, he'll probably down me 80% of the time.
Why do you guys always use that as the de facto, like that's your and Pete's thing, like the Nasher you guys can gib? Is it like to make that point? I mean, it's not, you have to close distance with the Nasher, so.
And you have to close distance with the retro too.
Right, so it's like, you get, what, 3 shots? 3 good shots with the Nasher and you get someone down versus the retro.
2.
I mean, it's not 2, if you have active, but
yeah, you got to close distance down with the retro and hold that R trigger down. You know what I'm saying?
The issue is you're full red on that last shot.
But you're alive.
Guy.
But no, you know, I don't think you get nowhere in 3 shots. You might be able to get 2 shots, but those 2 shots might not kill him, especially depending on how close it is and how smart that player is playing. Because as soon as he starts bursting with that thing, you're getting full red and like. You know, as the video that Skylar's did, you know, 0.8 seconds, 0.2 seconds, the video that he did it with when he was running around rank with his retro.
That same video, he said that the retro sucks compared to the Lancer and that he would not use the retro anymore because the Lancer is far better. Yeah, the retro does the same thing that the Nasher does, but the Nasher is way better at it. Like if you get the drop on someone, the retro will drop you fast. If you get the drop on someone with the Nasher, that person is erased and in the respawn queue. Or in execution, they're not coming back till the next round. Whereas a retro, you just down a guy, and then you have to kill people twice with a retro, unless you retro charge. But no one retro charges because they'll get killed at your level, right? The competitive level.
I will just have to wait. Can't speak for my level kind of thing because I've never
seen it.
Retro charged in to fucking try to clutch.
Isn't that a problem? You guys haven't even seen it. On the competitive level.
Well, that's why I want to try it. I want people to try it already. I just want to see how it plays. I mean, if you think about it right now, what else are we playing for right now? This is the time where we should be just trying stuff.
We had 1 week of testing with all weapons, and then, well, not even all.
And that was way back, too.
I'm all for it.
We like, just tried to get at the bottom of the barrel to find scrims playing all settings, and it was just like, nobody. So it's never gonna happen. I don't care what you guys say. It's just never gonna happen.
That's
You can
what
throw it in there. It's just never gonna happen.
I know.
Ever. And it's not that nobody. It's not that I don't want to try it, but people are just too stubborn for it. So it's not gonna happen.
Well, man, Quinn Delhoyo, everybody, Kendall, Guy Spencer, Kenny, we've had pretty amazing show this season.
Yeah, I mean, I want to keep going, but it's been like an hour 45 already.
Yeah.
I'd love to get you on again, Quinn, though, just down the line if you're down for it.
I can go all night, bro.
You can go all night.
All right, anybody out there stream have any questions? I mean, obviously, don't blow them all up at once. But if I see some good ones out there, whatever, I'll shout them out.
We didn't talk about Guardian. I saw some people.
Oh yes,
Guardian.
we didn't even touch on that. Guardian. I played it back in the day. You know, obviously Gears 2 and 1. I thought it would be beast if you spawned on the leader, like kind of in its vicinity. I'm not really a fan of how you spawn, you know, those two-set spawns, execution, TDM. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it works. I don't see it working competitively, but I still think it'll be a fun mode to play.
People are screaming for Scourge. What's up with that?
I know.
Well, you know what?
I
think it is.
We're
you know,
the skinny locust characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people was asking
We're
me.
the
They were tweeting
skinnies
me. They would
about
say,
that.
where are all
Yeah.
the
It ain't
skinny,
fair, Quinn.
either more skinny locusts or more female character locusts, but it'd be hard to make it like a female drone or something like that.
A female locust is a berserker, bro.
Make it smaller.
Make
Make play with it.
With the grenades.
Baby berserker.
Baby
Let's
berserker.
go, Quinn.
You guys are a bunch of clowns, dude.
Can I just touch on that real quick? With just speaking Spinny Locust, what's the deal with the female character thing? Because you guys swear up and down the hitboxes are the same and everything, but I mean, just the more you play with them, the more you notice things.
We know. We talked about the Theron having a little bit different hitbox, a minor difference.
What about the female characters?
Females
Like
are the same.
females? Sure? Are you sure about this?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard to
Where's
believe
E.
that.
Carmine?
And what about the Savage Candid? Because that character is a straight sponge.
See, I don't know what you guys are crazy, dude. Like when I fight Savage Cantuses, there's no difference between anyone else.
Okay.
I don't personally complain
All
about
right.
it.
I mean, I see ranked people just running around all
Twitch
female.
stories that comes up, and you guys just, hey, this happens. I'm not labeling you guys, but what happens is, hey, this I saw this guy, I shot him, and he should have died, and oh, it's because of this. Yeah, you're right, dude. It's because of this.
No.
Let's start spreading this. Now I'm
that's
gonna go
not how
on
I
Twitter
work,
and say, hey, this
no.
is what happened. And then I'm going to go in the forums and, hey, did you guys know that this is what's going on in the game? And like, what? Oh, my gosh, that's what's happening in the game. I'm going to go hit up all these epic people and say, this is what's happening. What are you guys doing? Hey, I thought you said dedicated servers were on. Some guy told me they weren't on. Screw you dudes.
The face told me it was in quick match only.
Exactly.
No, it's just it's just the more you play with it. Oh, go ahead,
I
Arthur.
got one question since we talked just to touch on Guardian. What about, and everyone always talks about this, bomb game type. Can you,
Where's
I mean,
arctic's
oh,
bomb
we
yeah.
game
talked
type?
about it. We
Where's
talked about it
arctic's
briefly,
bomb
Quinn,
game
but
type?
can you tell people why the bomb game type, in your words of what you told me, why you like it, but it's just not for Gears 3?
We were.
And I'm clearly for a CTF game type, Quinn. So I want
Me
this
too.
better be
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
amazing
yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
clearly
yeah,
for this.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. Alpha CTF escalation. It's going down.
Ah, God, you're killing me.
Okay, so in just like 5 words, you said the only reason we haven't done a CTF game type is because the game can't be played on all maps.
No. I was just
It can be played on
giving
all
you a
maps.
crap, dude.
I'm gonna be running a flag past you on escalation anyway. But go ahead. For real though, tell me what's up.
The bomb idea, we tried a bunch of different things, and when it came down to it, we wanted to go with what people were asking for, and more people were asking for the return of Guardian than anything else. Now, my opinion as a creative and as a designer that works here, I wanted to do something different, but at the end of the day, you have to maybe look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe the fans are right on this one, and maybe they want something that they had before, and maybe they just didn't like, there's things in Capture the Leader that the people just don't like, the players, those type of people, they just don't like it. And so if that's the case, then okay, let's do Guardian and try to bring it back and bring it back in a way that they'll like it. Now, there are some things in there that are different from, Gears 2. Like you have the leader vision, the X-ray vision, like in Capture the Leader.
Yeah.
That was in there. That was an internal debate, but at the end of the day, we wanted to make people feel like it was fun and wanted to play as the leader. And that was one way of doing it. That was somewhat simple to do. Now, yes, there's ramifications because I get that. I'm going to get blown up on Twitter by saying, oh, the leader is going to see where all the people are coming from now, and he's going to be so hard to kill. I get that.
Great.
But that was the reason we did that. But there's just some things in there that wasn't a one-to-one translation, but we tried to make it as close to Gears 2 as possible for those people that like it. And some things are in there that we could still turn off or check off later if people don't like it. So by all means, send me and Pete Nubb and everyone else at Epic your feedback on Guardian.
Okay.
Okay, so now that was your answer on Guardian, but so there's definitely no way that an actual real CTF like game type is ever going to happen, right? I mean, obviously you have the power to play.
Never. I mean, never.
Right, but it's just not in the specs right now.
Yeah, never is a harsh word. But
yeah. I mean, we're actually talking about, getting to a point and running over an object and the object being attached to your back and bringing it back to another point.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple ways of doing CTF. The thing is, then we'd have to dedicate time to design it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how do we want to design it? Do we want to do it like UT style, like you said, put it on your back and then you can shoot? Or do you want to do it like...
hell yeah, I want to be taken out.
I think
and
when it
Pete
comes
Nubb
down
is
to
God. He can do that in an hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly right. But I think when it comes down to capture the flag...
Look, if you think that moving is not an option, I will be there by the end of the week,
When it comes down to capture the flag, I think, the original way is always the best way. Just a classic capture the flag game type is always awesome. Don't try to if you guys do think about it, my suggestion would be don't try to get too creative with it. Because isn't that how Guardian got brung up in the first place? Is that you guys once get creative that capture leader, that's how I get brought up.
You're talking
You mean meat flag? Yeah, that whole thing.
They didn't want anything. They didn't want to be in resemblance to.
Yeah, they don't want to be resemblance. They want it to be different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they want it to be different. Nothing's wrong with being different, but I think if it, a classic capture the flag would be, is awesome. It's always better, classic. Grab a flag, bring it back over here.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something we've done. Sometimes we've tried to be too cute, and that's where you look at Gears 3. We tried to simplify that, right? We made Team Deathmatch, and we called it Team Deathmatch. We didn't call it something different, We took King of the Hill and Annex and said, well, what is this Annex name? Like, really?
Yeah.
What is that, right?
Yeah.
But anyone that comes and plays a shooter game, they know what King of the Hill is.
Mm-hmm.
So that was part of that simplification. Capture the Flag was just something that wasn't necessarily in the cards for Gears 3 from the beginning. So
I mean, is that something you guys would actually look into doing?
Bomb game
I don't
type.
know. I don't know. I can't really say.
All right. And speaking,
I'm not gonna lie, KO's bomb game type when they came up like
type.
a year ago. So it was a very, very, very nice idea. It was good. It was a good idea.
Yeah. Speaking King of the Hill, though, I know people are saying in chat. Have you guys looked into making King of the Hill so that you have to actually be in the hill? Yeah, it's pretty much Annex. I mean, that's really what it kind of is now. It's really Annex. It's not really King of the Hill, because you can cap the hill and move around. You don't have to actually be in the hill.
Yeah, you mean it's Annex and not Gears 2 King of the Hill.
Well, it's not King of the Hill in general. King of the Hill, I mean, pretty much almost every game I played, you got to be in the hill. You got to stay in the hill. Somebody's got to be in that hill for your team.
That's how it was for Gears 2.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's that, or it's like a combination of, or even like you could say domination from COD, right? I mean, it's like a mix of a bunch of different stuff. So,
yeah, or even picking up a flag and trade it. You have to take the option on which weapon to trade out, whether it be your shotgun or your lancer.
That'd be interesting.
That's an interesting idea.
That could be a weapon. Think about it. Yeah.
One more for you too. What's up with is there a way to get, like, now that we already have the spectator mode, video like an editing mode or almost like a replay, kind of how like Reach does it? What is
that's
what I'm looking for?
That's probably
that would
tough.
be pretty awesome, but again, that's
Just another thing. I mean,
I can't.
I have a question.
I mean, when I see it, I'm like, okay,
Oh,
cool.
let him finish the question first.
Okay, my
Didn't even
fault.
get to say
My
anything.
fault. I didn't hear.
No. I mean, that's this. Again, that's more of
building this shit.
yeah. I can't really say one way or the other on that one. I can't really say.
Okay.
So go ahead, Blaze.
Do you guys think having a set hill rotation will be be a good idea? Having the hill move to point A, point B, point C throughout the entire map. Have you guys ever thought about that?
We thought about that, but again, okay, like you guys are so against randomness, right?
Yeah.
But everything has randomness in it. Like if you look at let's look at the Super Bowl. This most recent Super Bowl, was there not random elements that happened where the ball bounced in the Giants' favor, and then, they got lucky, but none of the combatants, the football players complain about the randomness or the fact that the ball is oblong and can bounce any way when it hits the ground.
Well, my thing is towards that is that of course, it is randomness in every aspect, and even if it's just a little bit, but things that we can prevent, less randomness is always better. Like you can't prevent the way the ball bounces almost, like especially if it hits the ground and it falls somewhere else, but we can prevent if a hill goes into a certain location. You know what I'm saying? So just always less is better. Less is better when it comes down to anything.
The only randomness that we would have on our end, Quinn, would be like lag. We can't help it if we lag out of a game. We can't help that.
Yeah.
That would be a random element that we would have to deal with as players. But if at all possible, I think everyone. That's why the hill indicator moving. That was such a crucial piece of the puzzle for us to get King of the Hill as a game type. Right. Is that we need less random elements. So a set spawn order would be, or hill rotation order would be awesome, but.
Day one idea, boy.
That's why
that's the thing that we look at.
Yeah, and the only reason why I got so angry about the update is because I felt like when it came down, even though if it was just two maps, Dry Dock and Trenches, I felt like it was always a set hill rotation, but yet it still had a random it was a random element to it where that it wasn't exactly, we knew that it was always the one or two locations every time, one or two locations. Now it's anywhere. And but by it being one or two locations, still both sides of it, both teams have an opportunity to get to that hill. It doesn't have to be guaranteed.
Don't you still have an opportunity to get to it because there's that next hill indicator?
But that 10 seconds, it being 10 seconds, the only part about it was
he's saying 10 seconds from a hill being next to another hill.
Well, it being exactly next to it was the problem. Like one shot to Tiki, mortar to top barb on Trenches. By that hill being next to it was the issue. Exactly next to it. That was the whole.
Should be mortar to probably either.
It goes to one
guaranteed at the digger or at either the two inks.
Well, wasn't it like that in Gears 2? Like King of the Hill, you knew where the hills are going.
No.
No.
Just to give you a quick a quick rundown on how it was on what I'm trying to talk about, and we used the most common map, Dry Dock. Okay, Dry Dock, it went to one shot to either one of the hills across the map. Okay, if it went to Torque it would never go down to the bottom sides of the ramps. It was guaranteed to go to one of the last two possible hills on the other side of the map, which was one shot, which was Garage or Tiki. Then when it went there, you had three possible hill locations to choose from at that point. Okay, if it went from one shot to Torque to the bottom sides of the ramp, you still had locations, but it was an algorithm that we had figured out, and it was still, we knew where it was going, but it wasn't like, and we knew it was certain hills that were blocked. Well, it's definitely not going to go there. So we have, one or two options of where the hill is going to actually go. So let's go kind of gamble and go set up on one of these other options. And if we got it right, we got it right. If we failed, that's on us.
What if
we had to split up and set up on both?
Somebody just said something in the chat pretty interesting. What if you guys raised the hill indicator time?
Yeah, I was thinking of that too.
What if you raised it from 10 to 20?
Or 25?
No, not 20. I think 20. 20 is good. Like 20 is good.
I got a 20. I got a 25.
No, dangerous. Oh my God, that's his name in the chat. I like that.
Initially, would leave the hill at around 20 seconds anyway to guess on that next hill. So it wasn't like people were waiting right up until 10, and they were like, "Oh well, shit, I need to go run for the hill."
No, yeah, we always left around.
You make that call to push at 20 seconds, so it's like, all right, we need to go move across the map, guys. Let's set up.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, that would be nice.
That's good.
And set spawn orders. Set spawn orders.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
I
think it's great. Yeah. Look, I Quinn on Clock Tower. I like rushing the boom shot, man. I like getting to that truck, and I like being able to completely.
That was the thing about Gears
when it comes to that car,